How's it going, everyone? Matt Leighton. Welcome back to another real estate video. In today's video, it's all about negotiating and helping you win your next negotiation, whether it's in real estate like I'm in or in life. So let's dive right into the video. It's how to win every single negotiation. I'm a firm believer that you only need 3 things to win your next negotiation. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because just last week, I was negotiating a contract for a first-time home buyer where we were asking for money when we had no right to ask for money. We were asking for $2,000, and the sellers gave us the $2,000 when they didn't have to do anything at all. So how did that even come about? How did that happen? Well, let's dive into the first thing that you need to win every single negotiation right now, and that is empathy. So I'm gonna write it on the board right now. Empathy. All right, this is the first thing. And empathy is getting the other side to realize where you're coming from. It's not a pity party. You're not getting them to feel sorry for you. It's more of putting them in their shoes. So when I called this listing agent, I said, hey, John's not the listing agent's name, but I'm gonna use John. I said, hey, John, I got some nervous first-time home buyers. We just did the home inspection. I know this is an as-is property. I know we can't negotiate any items for repair or credits, but here's the situation. They were looking at the list. They couldn't sleep all of last night. All these expenses are piling up. Their parents are maintenance fanatics. They're telling them how much it's gonna cost. We're on the fence right now. We're not sure if we're gonna move forward. What they're asking for is $2,000. And we can get this through and we can move on to the next step. So what I'm trying to do here is put the listing agent, I want him on my side. I want him to realize, listen, first-time home buyers, they're nervous, they don't know what's gonna happen. All they're asking for is $2,000. So I said this to John. What do you think John said? Do you think John said, okay, yeah, here's your money? No, John was like, Matt, if you are attempting to negotiate an as-is contract, I just want to let you know the sellers won't be doing anything about that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, great. Because guys, when you do this, it's not like, okay, yeah, immediately they're going to cave to all your negotiations, right? You got to work them a little bit. I said, John, I completely understand. We're on the fence right now. I don't know what's going to happen when I go back to them with nothing. Just please, can you see what you can do? They're just nervous. Everyone's had first-time home buyer clients that are a little bit nervous. I know you see where I'm coming from here. Just help us out here. All we're asking for is $2,000. And before that, John was maybe like 100%, no credits, and now he's maybe like 70% no credits. So, he goes back to him. And then that'll bring us to the second thing that you need for every negotiation. Leverage. You need leverage. So we were having this conversation during the time frame where we could back out of the contract. So I was like, hey, John, listen, we need $2,000. We'd really like to see a $2,000 credit. That's all we're asking for. My buyers, they're on the fence right now. I want this deal to go through. I don't know what'll happen if I bring them back nothing. So can you please just see what we can do about the $2,000? Now, what I'm not doing is I'm not bulldozing them. I'm not giving them an ultimatum. I'm not saying, hey, John, listen, we need $2,000 or we're walking away. If you just bulldoze everyone in every single negotiation, you're going to get a reputation and no one's going to want to work with you. So listen, we both know we're in that time frame. So I'm saying, hey, listen, John, I really want this deal to go through. I want us to go to closing, man. I want us to celebrate. I've never met John before. Listen, I want us to celebrate at closing. Can you just see what you can do about the $2,000? I'm not saying, hey, listen, dude, you need to give us money or else we're walking. Because the reality is they actually had another contract. There were 2 very similar offers. And John said, the reason we chose your offer was because it was an as-is offer. So if your buyers are nervous, they can walk away. I said, John, completely understand. I agree. I don't want them to walk away. I want them to move forward. They're just nervous right now. I understand where I was being empathetic with him. He was laying down the law and saying, hey, listen, if they're nervous, they can walk away. I said, I completely agree. You're absolutely right. Can you please see what you can do about the $2,000? So with leverage, it's just, agreeing with the empathy and then have some leverage, guys. Try to use leverage to your advantage. And then that'll bring us to the third thing right here. Let me get my little marker ready. All right. The third thing is teamwork. So guys, John, he's with another brokerage, right? He's another agent. He's the competition. He's on the other side of the fence. I want to be best friends with John. John is not my adversary. John should be a cooperative partner in this transaction. I want John to love me. And the reality is, when you're negotiating, that other person may not like you. You may not like the other person, but whenever I meet someone and I'm like, dang, I don't like them, I immediately try to become best friends with them, because people that I don't like, they never know that I don't like them, because it's part of playing the game. I never understand coworkers when they don't like their coworkers, right? And then they go into work and they're like, yeah, so-and-so sucks. I'm like, why don't you just become friends with them? Your job is going to be easier if you're friends with your coworkers, right? If you hate all your coworkers and they know you hate them, well, that's just a terrible environment. But if you're genuinely nice to them, if I'm genuinely nice to John, I'm like, hey, John, dude, please, work with me here. Let's go to closing. I'm trying to get these buyers to move forward. Please, let's find a solution here. We're only asking for $2,000. Let's get this signed off on. Let's get it done. We'll move on to the next step. It'll be a smooth settlement. So I'm always trying to figure out a way to get the other side on my team. I want to be team members, right? I want to be working with the other side. I'm going to use leverage sometimes, right? When we're doing this discussion where we ended up getting the $2,000, the sellers ended up coming back. They didn't come back at $500. They came back at the full amount. But when we were having these conversations, my buyers were like, hey, maybe we're going to sleep on this. We're going to get some estimates. We'll get back to you in a couple days. And I was like, hey, listen, guys, there's a reason we want to have this conversation going on right now, because if you could imagine, like a week before settlement, maybe like 3 weeks from when we were doing this, if we just came out of the blue and said, hey, can we have $2,000? They'd be like, get the heck out of here. But because we were doing it in that exact time frame where we could back out, maybe something was clicking in the seller's mind, like, okay, first-time home buyer, some issues with the property, I get it. Let's just give them $2,000, tell them to, hopefully that'll work. So you got to use leverage to your advantage. I try not to bulldoze, right? I try not to make enemies with everyone that I meet, because the reality is, I might do another deal with John, the agent, and he might like me. So then maybe he'll be more likely to want to work with me in the future. And then the biggest thing, guys, out of all of these, definitely empathy. Understand the other party and talk in a way where they can understand where you're coming from. Put them in your shoes. John, I know you do a lot of business, right? Play with their ego a little bit. Hey, John, listen, I looked you up. I saw you do a lot of business. I know you work with a lot of first-time home buyers. Listen, my first-time home buyers, they're nervous. You know how it goes. They're on the fence. I want this deal to move forward. I want us to go to settlement. You all have the same goals in the transaction. And when you use empathy as opposed to, hey, listen, your house sucks. It wasn't well maintained. We need $2,000. People put their guard up. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Settle down. There's no way we're negotiating. But if you come at them at an angle, right? If you flank them a little bit, say, hey, listen, John, got some nervous first-time home buyers. We're just wondering, we have these issues. There's possible mold. The parents are worried about safety. They're looking to start their family there. They're going to have a little child, and they're just wondering, what's going on with the roof. The water heater's rusted. All we're asking for is $2,000. So that's the story about how we were able to pull $2,000 basically out of thin air. We negotiated an as-is contract, guys. As is. That means it was a pass-fail home inspection. You're not allowed to negotiate on a pass-fail. It's literally, it passes or it fails. And we took the option of pass, and we're collecting $2,000. So nothing felt better than texting my client with the money bag emoji and saying, hey, listen, you got $2,000 coming your way, because we had empathy, leverage, and we worked together with the other side. So hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I love negotiating. Hope you can take a couple tips away from this. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up button. I really hope you enjoyed it. All right, until next time, create a productive day. Take care.